Liam Krebs here with Krebs Kubota, and with it being summertime and tractors running up and down the road with hay mowers, I thought it was fitting for us to do a video on Kubota's hay mowers. On my right, we've got the DM1024, which is Kubota's 7-foot disc mower, and then on my left we have the 10'6" DMC8032R mower conditioner. So we've got both ends of the Kubota mower sides here, and I kind of want to talk about what makes each of them great. And then also, if you're in the market for something like this, I want to give some pointers on, maybe the pros to the disc mower or the pros to the disc mower conditioner, and then a couple cons, right? So just kind of give some helpful hints to those out there who need them. So I want to kind of start with price. That's going to be the most obvious. When you go to look at getting a hay mower, first thing you're going to notice is the price. The conditioner is going to be substantially more expensive than the standard disc mower. Now, the two behind me, it's not really a fair comparison. One's a 7-foot, one's a 10'6". So you've got a big gap in size, so obviously the price is going to be way different. But, if you were looking at a 10-foot standard disc mower, then you'd get there and you'd see the price difference is still going to be really different. Because of that price difference, you get more with the disc mower conditioner. There's a lot of stuff going on. You've got more PTO shafts. You've got, two hydraulic remotes needed to run it, right? One to shift it in, and then one to drop the cutter bar up and down, or down and then raise it back up. So there's a lot going on. You got this big frame. You got big float tires. With the standard disc mower, you don't have really a lot. You got a small PTO shaft. You've got the bracket that mounts to your 3-point and your cutter bar. So it's simple. But the disc mower does offer a continuous cutter bar. So something Kubota does to help put them ahead on both the conditioner and the standard disc mower is one cutter bar. So the oil goes through all of them. You don't have a bunch of separate, reservoirs that you've got to check and all that. Also, our houses, right, the tops, they have 3 knives on them. We love it. Some of our competitors aren't actually doing that, and it allows us to actually be able to run at a lower RPM because we're getting more cutting. So you don't have to run it, 540 PTO. You could run maybe a little bit less if you really wanted to with both of these pieces. Disc mower, you got to fight to put it on the tractor. That's the one thing that I don't care for that much. I'm young, so it's not like it's hurt my back or anything, but you got to wrestle it. You can do it alone, but 2 people, I would say, is always a plus when you're dealing with trying to mount a 3-point hitch style mower. Fix to that is get a dolly. You can get a dolly that it'll mount on, and then it'll be just like the mower conditioner. You back in, drop the pin in, put the PTO on, hook up your hydraulics, and you're rolling. 5-10 minutes. If you've done it a couple times, maybe even less. So that's what I like. And I like the trailer style that the mower conditioner gives you. The pull off to the side and you make the turn and it's not mounted. That mounted feel when it swings with you, personally, it's not my type of mowing. I tend to miss sometimes and whatnot. So, I mean, I'll do it, of course, but that's how I feel. There's adjustability with the mower conditioner that you're not getting with that one. You've got these turn tabs on the top of the back of the plate. You've got 2 on the ends, right? And you can adjust those and slide the gate down and up. Depending on crop type, you might want the chute to be angled down so that the grass goes straight down and doesn't fly up in the air. And then you've also got 2 other ones mounted a little bit farther back on the deck. And what those do is narrow in the chute. So you can have a swath that's really narrow and tall, or you can widen it depending on your crop type, and you can let it flow out, and maybe that can help you, with your drying and all that kind of stuff. Also, differences, this one being a 8032R means it has the rollers. So inside that cover there's going to be 2 big rollers after the cutter bar. And what they do is the grass gets fed through those rollers. It helps roll some of the waxes off the grass, as well as crimping it every 5 to 7 inches. It's going to crimp the pieces of grass. What that does is allow water to seep out of those little crimps and helps dry faster. So maybe your weather is kind of pushing you and you don't really have a big gap, but you've got a mower conditioner, so you can go ahead and go out and mow, because It's going to speed up that drying time. That's another plus. But, you know, I can go over some more things here, but I think I want to hop in the tractor and let's kind of take a look at what we've got going on. I'm going to start in the mower conditioner and then go right next to it with the disc mower. And I'm going to leave, you know, one side of the field is going to be done with the Moco, one's going to be done with the disc mower, and we'll come back, you know, in a few days and we'll see what we're thinking. You know, can we notice a difference in dryness? Does it look like it cut better? All of those things. So let's hop in the tractor, figure it out. I'm in the cab of this M4071 now, and I'm just looking out at this mower and I'm loving it. It's the most comfortable thing in the world. I am going quite slow. I mean, maybe standard, I don't know, but 4.5 miles an hour. I could be going quite a bit quicker if I wanted to, but I just kind of want to be stable and easy while I'm talking to you guys. But something I wanted to bring up about the DMC that helps set it apart from its competitors is its roll bars, the rollers inside. So most other brands aren't going to have a full width roller. So what I'm saying by that is, say that it's a 10'6" cutting bar, right? They're only going to have an 8-foot set of rollers in there. Now, the con to something like that is that you know, little bit of hay on the end that doesn't go straight into a roller gets funneled back in to like the outer edges. Problem is, now that hay on the outside is thicker than it would be, say, in the middle. So now it's thicker on the outside, so the bars, the two rollers, are going to be spread farther apart, meaning it's not going to do quite as good of a job at crimping and squeezing the moisture out of the hay that's in the middle, because it's too thick on the outside. Now, Kubota has a full-length roll bar. The rollers are full-length, which is awesome. No one's doing it. It allows us to then have no uneven thickness of grass throughout the entire roller system, meaning that every single piece of grass is getting taken care of and conditioned. So, it's, you know, that's one thing that I've noticed that helps set it apart. That and the 3 blades on every you know, knife house. Those are the things that I see most. Go ahead and raise it up. Only reason I'm not mowing here is I want to leave a little bit of room to mow with the disc mower. But if it was up to me, I'd just mow every ounce of grass I had with this. It's just so much fun. But I don't know. That's just me. I know this video's topic is based around hay and the hay mowers, but I kind of wanted to point out the capabilities of the M4 series tractor. With like 60 PTO horsepower, this thing pulls this mower conditioner perfectly fine. That kind of shows, you know, what is possible with something like this. It looks like a huge piece of machinery that, you know, you need 111 horsepower with, which we were previously pulling it with an M5 111, and it didn't even know it was back there. But I'm sitting in the cab of this machine, and dang, you know, I don't even think it knows it's there. I mean, turning the PTO up, you do have to have it throttled up a little bit, or it'll, you know, it can stall the engine. But I mean, dang, 60 horsepower, you can pull one of these mower conditioners. Kind of puts in perspective that it can be possible for lots and lots of farmers, and it's not just big time, big high horsepower tractors that can do it. Well, I think that went pretty well. I think this little tractor did more than I ever expected it would. I think kind of kicks butt at pulling the 7-foot cutter. Initially, I was a little skeptical just because of the frame size. The horsepower is fine. I mean, didn't even notice that the disc mower was back there, but I was dubious, you know, and I thought that maybe the front end might come up on a bump or something like that. And even without the loader on, I didn't feel anything remotely uncomfortable. So I'm happy. I think it did great. It mowed perfect. It shows, you know, a pro to the disc mower is you can have a small farm or a small tractor or anything and you can still run it. You know, you don't have to be on a big farm to have it. You know, you can have 23 acres like this place, and if you really needed some hay and you wanted to feed your own hay for your own horses, it's doable. So I think it's a win. We'll come back tomorrow and take a look, and then, you know, throughout the next couple of days I'll kind of insert in, you know, and show the difference between this and the mower conditioner and how it did and how the grass is drying. So take a look at that. So it's actually been about 2 full days since the last video. I would have liked to get out to the hay maybe yesterday, you know, on day 2 of it sitting out, but couldn't get around to it, so now here we are. But the results are actually a little bit surprising to me. This hay has not been tedded, so over here you see the disc mower where it kind of laid it all flat out, and then on my left you see where the mower conditioner leaves it in windrows. I went in and I tried to open up the back chutes on the mower conditioner as wide as I could in order to leave a wide swath, but this is as wide as it gets. We spent about a couple hours mowing about 24 more acres of hay yesterday and the day before, and I was really able to hone in my skill using the disc mower and the mower conditioner. So originally with the disc mower, I was having problems with the hay clumping up. I had it clumping up near the cutter bar that was close, you know, where it was close to the tire, and I ended up figuring out that the reason that was happening was I had the 3-point hitch down too low. I had it almost on the ground, causing all that hay to get balled up right there on the inner skid plate, you know, that touches the ground. I ended up raising the 3-point to level 5 on that MX, and it held the cutter bar perfectly level and got rid of all that clumping issue. Now, after I fixed that, I realized I was still clumping, but it was clumping at the other end of the cutter bar at the chute. So once the hay gets cut, there's a chute on that far end that helps funnel it. Well, it was kind of pushed in too far, and all this hay was balling up right there, and I had to stop like twice to unball it, and then before I realized maybe I should just move that chute out. And I was able to do that. You could see early on in the video when I was mowing on this property, when I was making a turn, you could see that hay balled up at the far end of the cutter bar near that chute. So those were a couple things that I had to work through. I never used a standard disc mower, so it was kind of a learning experience for me. But once we went to that other property and my brother and I spent some time in the seat of the MX, I realized that it's actually a really fast mower. I was able to put it in medium gear and go about as fast as I could go. Didn't put any strain on the engine, and, you know, took care of some pretty large fields with that 7-foot mower, no problem. Something else that I forgot to mention earlier, if you're looking to mow hay with the setups that I've shown here today, they're both going to need a little bit of modification. So nothing serious, but both PTO shafts are going to have to get shortened. I had to shorten the one on the disc mower about 6 to 8 inches, I think, for it to fit on the MX without it sliding in and bottoming out. That would be a really bad thing to happen. It could blow out the seal in your tractor's PTO shaft, cause internal damage, all kinds of stuff that you don't want. On the M4 in the mower conditioner, I also had to shorten it. I did about 4 inches on that. I think maybe it was maybe a little bit more, maybe 6, something in that range. But that was just for the setups I have here today. If you paired that DM1024 with the M4 tractor, you wouldn't have had to shorten the PTO shaft any. And if you had put that DMC on an M5 like we had been doing in the past, it didn't require any work either. So just because we had these mowers on a little bit smaller tractors, there was a little bit of modification to do. But, you know, with a basic angle grinder, or if you had access to a chop saw, that would be a little bit better. You could get a cleaner, straight cut, but it's easy work to get, you know, to take care of that. But it was nice to be able to sit in the cab and pull that mower conditioner and use the disc mower for a couple more hours. I really honed my skills in with it, and it's helping me learn a lot about this equipment. But here at this property, since it's, I guess this is actually day 3, so it's had 2 full days of drying. And if we look, the results are actually a little bit surprising. The hay that the disc mower mowed is actually drying more efficiently than the disc mower conditioner. Now, I think that's just because I didn't get around to tedding it soon enough. I should have tedded this hay yesterday or maybe the day after I mowed it to allow these windrows to break up. But what I've got going on over here with the disc mower is it's totally dry on the top, obviously, and then underneath you can see it's still a little bit green, but not super, super damp. Now, with the big windrow here, dry on the top, but when I flip it over, it's totally green, like I just cut it today. So I've got that problem. So the hay is still gonna have to sit out for just a couple more days of drying. But that's something to think about. If you're just mowing and you don't think you're gonna be able to get around to tedding it immediately, the mower conditioner might not be the best option because it leaves it in that windrow style. Kubota does make a wide exit kit for the hay. Not sure exactly what that means, what it does to make it get out of the windrow style, but I was thinking maybe I'd just take those chute swath boards off the mower conditioner next time I use it and see if that enables it to be wide enough, which I think it will, but that means it's gonna get run over by the tires. Not sure what will happen, but I think I'm gonna experiment with that because I don't know. The mower conditioner is supposed to dry hay better because it crimps it, allowing the moisture to escape, but when it balls it up in a windrow, it doesn't really help me either. So that's something I'm taking away. I'm about to jump in the tractor and ted, and I'm gonna have a video coming out soon with the Kubota tedder and the Kubota rotary rake. And I'm gonna talk about all of those things and show the great features on both of them. And I hope what I'm doing here is helpful to you guys. I hope people are learning some things, seeing some things they didn't notice, and maybe it's helping them find the right machine for your piece of property and helping me show you guys what you can do even with small equipment. I have a very unique opportunity to be able to use all of this new Kubota equipment, and I want to make sure that I can document it and show all these people out there on the internet, what I'm doing so that you can learn from it. And I'm no expert, right? I'm not a hay expert. I'm not the expert at running all these pieces of equipment, but I'm going to learn and I'm going to show you my path to success in that. These videos aren't going to be strictly based around hay. I'm going to be doing, things on skid loaders and excavators, all kinds of construction equipment. I'm going to show you things like, maybe how to grade a driveway or, going out and doing some bush hogging and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to have some different style videos coming up, but just stay tuned and thank you guys for watching. See you soon.